Another episode of Everybody Hates Black Men. I need to start saying another episode. I should start saying like another live. If it's live, that would let y'all know this was live. But whatever. Appreciate the cash apps that I've been getting. Shout out, you know who you are. Shout out to the cash app as far as $100. That's much appreciated. Email me at edwardanderson300k at gmail. The link should be in like one of these video descriptions if you want a video. I actually got another video from Nate to do about realness. He gave me a $50 cash app, and then a couple of y'all have given me $10 cash apps. So let me know a topic that you want, and I'll definitely cover it in a live, and then like cut it out in its own thing. So shout out to you all. And a lot of you all, I've been getting a lot. Shout out to you all that's been leaving comments. I've been getting some comments. Y'all really like the content I've been spitting. The last video I put out, I'll probably unlist and put it on Patreon because I was kind of going in on that video. But yeah, appreciate the feedback. You know, even constructive feedback is good. Let y'all get in here. You know, just FYI, I've been saying this all year. I'm gonna keep saying it for the people. Why people are coming in, replay gang. You know, we got a Discord that I am starting to pick up the pace on being in my own personal Discord, as well as the initiated Discord with Compassion and Callous is the main runner. And Compassion, and you know, there's a lot of like high level. There's quite a few creators in there. There's also a lot of high level. I actually need to get Black Guru in there. A lot of high level, you know, contributors that aren't creators, but they definitely be contributing that are in there. So make sure you get in there. Email me at edwardanderson300k to get in there. Periodically, when I go live, I'll drop the way we'll probably be letting people in at first. Is periodically we'll drop links in. You know, when we're live, whether it's me, Compassion, Callous, or whatever. And then you can get in that way. We'll do it more later, but for right now, we gotta. You know how people are. People like to sneak in here and do the stupid stuff. So, you know, we got to protect, you know, our spaces. So we can't just leave an open-ended link because people don't know how to act when it comes to this type of content, unfortunately. Now, some people that may have gotten banned from my stuff because, I don't know. I don't even know I want to say that. But anyway, we got that. Another fun fact for the year is, again, this is the last year that millennials will be in their 20s. It's the end of an era. And that's important because I don't want to hear nothing from no millennial talking about mofos are too young. Just know when they talk about mofos are too young, they're talking about Z's. So let's keep that real. And that is a significant shift in the market, so we always need to be aware of what we're in. And so pretty much when it comes to millennials, that stuff is shifted. You don't have obviously females that are delusional because, you know, when women turn 30, they tend to think that they're 29 for like 3-4 years. They really don't turn 30. They really turn 29 and 28, and they become 27, 28, 29, whichever they can get away with until they like 35. So keep that in mind. Be aware of the market that you're in, and at the end of the day, don't charge interest. So that's that. The other thing is R.I.P. You know, Jesse Jackson. You know, obviously, you know, I can have a whole bunch of opinions on certain things that I think should have went one way, the other way. I could also have a lot of opinions on how the Rainbow Coalition got away from black people and was more about people of color Some of that can be, even though that's in the name technically, but that's not what originally was supposed to be founded. I will say that I obviously could critique that, but what I will say is the lesson in organizations like the Rainbow Coalition or the Black Church or whatever is these people are going to go where they're funded. And I think we hold a lot of our leaders, like we really, people that claim to be leaders or people that claim to try to represent black people, we very much so get extra critical, as you should, about their lack of doing what we think needs to be done in the black community. Couple of things I would say to that. One is you need to be aware of what the things that actually need to be done are. And I think a lot of people are lacking in that. Like they don't know, and I don't know everything, but a lot of people don't know enough to critique to the degree that they critique. They don't even know what really needs to be done, let alone why. And then what I will also, so you don't even like really, it's just you repeating stuff. And the other thing is we need to understand that I'm not saying that everybody has to be funding everything, but if you're not funding something, you need to take that into account. Like that's just how the world works. That's how this country works. That's how capitalism works. This is even before Citizens United. You have to fund what's in your best interest. And black men as a group, black men suck at that. Black men suck at that. You got to pay your own taxes. And I'm not talking about even YouTube. I'm just talking about in general. It's and so when I get people, it's funny because the people that talk the most crap be the people that that spend the least. You got people that, it's funny, they want to hold somebody accountable. They want to hold somebody accountable in their mind, but they not funding nothing. And people will spend more time talking about who they don't like versus promoting who they do like. Because here's the thing, when you promote who you do like, you got to stand on that. If you stand for somebody, now you got to stand on what they do, good or bad. But if you just say you don't like somebody, you don't put yourself out there as much. And so with one thing that Jesse Jackson did do, and this video isn't about him, but he did do, is he did make a run for the president. And people will say, oh, that don't mean nothing. That matters. Because that matters. I'm not saying Obama wouldn't have won without that, but that matters if you see somebody on that podium at least first. That matters. Just like I forget the woman, her name, that ran for president before all the other women. That matters. That has to happen first. You don't see somebody that's a complete unknown. Generally, when I say unknown, like a demographic that hasn't been previously represented, that they tend, even I remember even when John F. Kennedy was like Catholic and Irish, and that was a big deal. That was a big deal because of where Irish. So remember, so that does matter. So, really people should be promoting at least the things he did, like the Cliff Notes version, because a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't know that Jesse Jackson ran for president. Yeah, I believe it was Jesse Jackson, not Al Sharpton. We'll get my history wrong. Yeah, I don't think it was Al Sharpton. Make sure. Yeah, he ran for the nomination in 84 and 88. And they said he won 308 million 3.8 million votes in the primary. And that matters because in this situation where, our policies and our interests have to be more represented. And then when you see a lot of immigrants that don't represent our interests, Remember, the issue is not that you're an immigrant. The issue is you seem to represent everybody but FBA, even though the only reason you there is because of FBA. These like what's her name? The Somali congresswoman. At least she could say Somalis put her there. So that stuff matters, and you look in recent history, stuff like that needs to be highlighted because a lot of people don't even think that's possible. Because even with Obama, and shout out to BGS, there are some things Obama did do for black people. There are some things Obama did do for black men. There are. I'm not saying he did as much as he should have, but a lot of people kind of fall in that he didn't do anything, and that's not true. Obama deporting as many people as he did cleared the field for a lot of black men to get contractor work. And the majority of our wealth is in the blue collar trades. And I'm saying that because I'm gonna get into the thing about mentorship and stuff. But that needs to be highlighted. Obama, especially when we're looking at Trump, like people will praise, don't praise Trump. Do not praise Trump. And by the way, that tells you how quick the Democratic Party switched doing that. That tells you, remember, Obama was in there for 08 to 16, and he deported a lot of people. See, so that means after he got out of there, the Democrats switched on that. So that means from 16 to 24, we've been dealing with about 8, Trump, well, no, because Trump was in there from 16 to 20, which means the strategy of these Democrats really hyper bringing in all these Hispanics was a 4-year strategy. And then they didn't, he kept the ones that were like here since they were kids. But I got to get the real number of them, but remember that. So this strategy is a new strategy where the Democrats have just been trying to bring in people. But anyway, there's other stuff to kind of talk about with that. But the point is that Obama still is mixed and his black side is Kenyan. So when you see an actual African-American FBA that ran for president in the 80s, I mean, there's value there's value in black men running in a nomination because it platforms your policies. Even if you don't win, it platforms your policies, and it's party politics, whether it's Democrat or Republican. And it gets you in the media campaign. A lot of people don't realize that when you look at different people as to why they run. There's different reasons why people run for president, especially in the primaries. There's a lot of different reasons. And there's a whole video. Some of it is more selfish. Some of it is more donors trying to get certain ideas out there. And that's something that needs to be talked about. It was Jesse. Yeah. Well, I mean, it ain't even so much pay to play. It is pay to play, but we live in a capitalist society where things cost. It's called socialpreneurship. And really the problem is that corporations and people that own corporations have way too much say-so on what's going on compared to what they're actually putting in. I don't care what they say as far as technology and all that. It's just what it is. And that's really on white people to handle that because those are white corporations that are doing that. And it is what it is. And I'm not going to do their work for them. I'm just not. They're going to have to come to those conclusions. And I already know what it is. What it really is they want a new deal. They want a new white deal. That's really what they're looking for. What they're looking for is they want a new white deal. And they want, they're waiting for the boomers to die to start transferring wealth to them, the millennials. Here's the problem with that. The problem with that is a lot of the wealth with the boomers is it's codified. Like I can tell you right now, I don't care what Trump says, these houses are not going to keep going up in pricing. They're not going to keep going up. Like you're not going to keep having a big house, like a house that's like millions of dollars or something like that. Obviously, if you're in certain sectors like New York and stuff, but this is not going to go up everywhere. Somebody's taking a hit. And as far as I'm concerned, that hit is going to happen. When the boomers die, a lot of that housing that bubble is going to pop. That wealth is not transferred. Because that's a bubble thing. That's not transferring to the next generation. They just need to know that. Them houses are not about to be worth as much as when you had them. So that's, to me, that's the only if you want to play fair, that's the fairest way of doing it. There needs to be something to where that crap gets cut out in half or like a third. And people are not going to like that, but that's just going to be what that's going to be. It's just going to be what it's going to be. Somebody's taking a hit. And so if people think they about to inherit like a whole $2 million, that's not happening. But the truth is, the reason these houses maintain their value is really not even because of the boomers. It's really because of the banks. They need as many valuable assets in the banks to maintain these banks. That's really what that is. And then we can get into the AI bubble. But anyway, it's been 15 minutes. Y'all are in here. That's kind of the initial stuff. I mean, not really. Not really. That, like Andre, no, that's not true. The housing industry isn't taking a hit. Not at all. Not at all. I don't know where you're getting that from. There is there is very few sectors in the United States of America where housing is going down. And there's and housing is being built everywhere, even in areas that are not the most desirable. It's just a matter of how strong, and not just houses, apartments. So that is not true. Not in the United States. That is not true at all. And you got in Canada, don't even get me started on how much housing costs in Canada, even though y'all are a socialist country. So I don't know where you're getting that from. Yeah. But anyway. So anyway, what this video is about, we're 16 minutes in. What this video is about is really, I may cut this initial part out, but what this video is about is really mentorship. That's why I wanted to do the video today, real quick. Had this talk. So this is one of those things where, again, people are not honest. People are not really, too many of these conversations are had with economics in mind. And when I say economics in mind, I mean a lot of the conversations are had in YouTube. The content is created is designed for money. It's not designed, okay, this needs to be said. It's not, okay, this is an activism thing. Meaning what needs to be said is based on what needs to happen. Not trying to sell a product or service. Not trying to sell for example, let me give you an example. I just watched a video. I'll share. I think somebody did share in the description where it was an article talking about how the Gen Z and Gen Alpha is the first generation that's actually dumber than the last generations. And what they're talking about is the cognitive ability of Gen Z and Gen Alpha. Gen Alpha is definitely important because Gen Alpha is our kid generation, child generation. And Gen Z is important because obviously we're going to have to work with them because the X's for most part are going to be useless. We're going to have to work with Z. But their cognitive abilities are not there. And Z is the Xer generation. Their cognitive, and this is not just black people, this is white people too. They, like overall, they're kind of obviously, when you look at Asians, probably, and this actually will exacerbate like Asians because I don't think they have this problem as much. But this is like across the board, right? And basically, they're talking about, you're starting to see with these screens, and this is not just in America. This is actually something that's global. It's just a matter of who's taking the biggest hit. So, teaching kids with screens is not good. That's basically the long and the short of it. The dude that went over this video and went over this stuff, he's just as good. I won't say just as good as BGS, but he's definitely on the level of that dude that BGS be sharing about China. It's one of that type of content. Nothing but receipts, but you can literally he showed in multiple different situations, the different demographics that ain't got nothing to do with black people, that when you put screens in front of these kids, when it comes to the education system, the cognitive ability drops, reading, all of that. What does that have to do with sales? The reason why the one-to-one thing, when you hear people say one-to-one, they're talking about one computer or one person. So they associate computers and being taught is one thing to learn the computers, another thing to being taught, on a screen or virtual learning and all of that. That stuff hurts cognitive function. That is almost not even like question now. That hurts, and a lot of these private schools very much minimize these computers. Not the computers, but people learning specifically on screens. So people know that, technologists know that, they know that. And so, but they want to sell their computers. Obviously, Microsoft, you can get in the education system. It's a lot of money there. A lot of computers want to be sold. They want as many computers sold. So they're going to fund research that's going to say that's not true. Like always be suspicious of corporate research, because corporate research isn't promoted unless it validates. You're not going to get corporate research going against what they're trying to sell. Right? And so my point is, the way these things are sold to like the government is giving people access to computers is giving them access to higher education. It sounds good. It sounds like it makes sense. But the difference is where computers are now, where tablets are now. We're not talking about floppy disks. We're not talking about how you got to learn how to work this thing. We're talking about this stuff is already all around us now. The technology has layers of it. I mean, BGS has talked about this when it comes to ChatGPT, all of that. This stuff is all around us now. So what happens, and another thing is, as millennials and up, like Xers too, because the technology didn't exist, how we learned how to do stuff was already set. Now, it can degrade our cognitive abilities a little bit, but our stuff is already set for the most part. We're already used to reading. We already have our stuff built. We didn't grow up with this stuff. Millennials remember, we were already out of high school. And a lot of y'all was already out of college. Yeah, computers were in school and all of that. But like this stuff came way after. So our stuff, yeah, it can degrade our stuff a little bit. For the most part, how we learned and stuff was already set in stone. Xers too. And they even got older, right? That brain development crap, we were already 25 years old, a lot of us, right? Remember, Facebook 08, iPhone 08. ChatGPT and stuff was like 17. So we're already way past that. That's not true for the Z's. The alphas were born in it. The Z's main developmental period was in it. The alphas was literally born in it at this level. Because remember, the alphas was born in 2010. 2012. So by then, social media is already kicking. Mobile social media is already kicking. It's already in its infancy. So they're literal prime development. And look, I don't have children, so I'm not, it is what it is. But I'm gonna tell you, if I have kids, they're not like 1 to 5, they're not seeing the screen. 1 to 6 or 7, they're not seeing the screen. They're not seeing the screen. They're not. I don't care. Like I know, like now, oh no, they're not, because they're not even gonna ask for one because they'd be too young to know. They're not seeing the screen. That stuff is going to be minimized as much as possible. Even TV a little bit, but that stuff is going to be minimized as much as possible. As much as you can. Because that's 7 years is like that critical development area arena with cognitive function and stuff. And that stuff does matter. So my point is, in saying this is, and that's a good video. I may even link it to the description of this video because it's a good video. It's actually a good channel. As far as absorbing like what's going on in a way that's like doesn't have anything really behind it. Dude is very transparent about different stuff. The white dude, and you don't even Anyway, by the way, he don't show his face. So once again, you don't need to. He's got like 900,000 subscribers, but the companies that manufacture computers in that tech world, they're not going to say that. And because a lot of these tech people spend money on donors and stuff, they're not going to question that because it sounds good. But now people, I was actually wondering thank God in this area education is pretty solid, but this is probably the one thing the private schools are doing the public schools aren't doing, which is the private schools are probably not dealing with screens like that. And so my point is, just because something sounds good and looks good doesn't mean that it's actually really helping, and it's ultimately on you to really figure that out, because people they're gonna do what makes them money, and that just is what it is. My point in bringing that up is coming back to men. So when we have these conversations, a lot of times there's always an angle. Like when black men are having these conversations, black men do not want to make black women mad. That is always a big part of these conversations, because if black women are not on board, then it's like it can't happen. Let me be very clear here. The black community will never be what it needs to be if black women's opinions can veto ours. It's just what it is. Black women, I'm just going to ask you this simple question. Do you believe that black women are better capable of competing with other races? We are in a racial, ethnic group competitive environment. That is the environment we're in. That is a global environment. That ain't even just white environment. That is the reality of where we're at. Ethnic groups, tribes, races, people, because even what right, are in competition. Social Darwinism, all of that. If you don't understand that, we don't need to be having a conversation because you don't know enough. You're goofy. Because even if you can still get stuff out of what you need to get out, you're putting yourself in position to where that your stuff can be extracted. Because you ain't even got to be famous. You really don't. People will play games with you once you get to a certain level in different ways. And there's certain people that speak better to that than I can. But understand that money is power, wealth is power, and they will try to relieve you of that in order, because it's not about the money, it's really about the power. Right? So when you sit here, so understand that, you got this thing about trust black women. Are you saying that black women can compete more effectively with other races of men economically other than black men? Is that what you're saying? And see, I like to bottom line these conversations because it's like, what are we really talking about? What are we really talking about? Because women still expect men to do shit. That's the funny thing about it. Women still expect men to do men shit. But somehow they want women to be at the head. That trust black women shit is all about men need to build it, women need to run it. No other community operates that way. That includes Jewish people. No other community operates that way. No, you can't. They can't name me no other community that effectively runs and operates that way. You can't. You can't. So I don't know why we're like. So it's like, okay, you're not serious. You're not serious about a building, about doing anything. Because if you were, you wouldn't have that mentality. But again, this stuff is presented as means of getting women on board, because they're not getting women on board to build. They're getting women on board in order to pretend they're building. It's like this pro-black entertainment where really the goal is to extract views and donations and support, because that gets money. It's running game. It's the same thing the church does. The church ain't really about God. The church is just turned into a motivational circuit for women. That's why women's empowerment, all that is wrapped around the church. That's all it is. It ain't got nothing to do with building, because women don't build. Women nest, they don't build. Women nest in what other people have built. Even when you look at a lot of females and it's made money, when you look, they don't build. They just accumulate a lot of shit. For the materialistic. Women are generally not utilitarian like that, except when it comes to their beauty and stuff, to try to attract a man to do shit for them. Seriously. Most of the billionaires that are women got their money from men. Now, can women assist? Sure, that's what they are, helpmates. And people say this is misogynistic. This is facts. People can play games all they want to, but when it comes to group dynamics, women don't build shit. That's just the fact. That's just the fact. And they know this, which is why this is why it's not a threat to give women money. Because women are going to go back into the system. Women are not going to create a compete. As much as black females, you think I'm lying? As much as black women talk about colorism, as much as they talk and bitch 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 about colorism. Have you seen a Black Miss America? Have you seen a diaspora, like a diaspora Miss thing? Now people will say, oh, well, if you do that, then white people will isolate black people. Not necessarily. Because I promise you, Asians aren't going to do that. If Asians do it, they're not going to be like, well, we're just going to kick every Asian out. No, they're not going to do that. Have black people created a competing pageant? Because there's ways we can do it. We have, number one, for real, it's just like having a Canadian football, like whatever. They'll try to say that. And they very well, and here's the funny thing. they very well might isolate black people. But if we have our own shit and we have our own media, I mean, how much, like, real talk, how much do black women really benefit from the Miss World pageants and the current pageants? Like, seriously, if you don't win, if you win, how much do they really benefit? They don't, because you're still operating under white products to sell to white people. So if they want to say that and they want to just make it about white and try to use that as an example when they know it's an economics behind it, it's just like saying when we have our own festivals when it comes to FBA or whatever. No, it's about talking about black beauty. They know the history of black beauty versus white beauty, and they know black women are not really in there in the numbers they really need to be. Let's stop acting like most of Miss America right now ain't already white. It's very few black women that be in Miss America. So what? You're gonna remove the other couple of the one or two spots that y'all have? Like, that doesn't make sense. And you're not gonna do that with the global ones, because then it's got to be a country that represents it. This way, the countries that generally produce those women come out of a black. You don't hear them talking about that. I remember when I said that in the Discord, I got kicked out of. Them young brothers were really excited about that because they was talking about like traveling and passport bro stuff. Like it was, they didn't call it that because the bitches get triggered, but they were talking about like which chick looks good and Ethiopian and this whatever. And I was bringing up each, I was bringing ethnic groups they weren't aware of, and then I brought this up because this will bring awareness. That's actually how I brought that up. And then I was like, you could, this is how this benefits the women. And it was funny because some of the females, they were quiet, they were like intrigued, but at the same time they felt some type of way too. And it's kind of like, I mean, this is some shit Indian women could be a part of because obviously they're women of color. The way you would frame it is like a women of color thing. That's how you would frame it. That's actually how you would probably frame it and be able to get away with doing it. And so it wouldn't just necessarily be black. It would highlight a lot of different other people, right, that are more melanated. And they were really excited about it. And I talked to them. I said, yo, you got companies obviously service black women when it comes to hair, makeup, whatever, that would fund this. They would fund this. This is actually something that could be there. You just need somebody to seed it. And we got enough people, like, you know, not even just black billionaires, but other billionaires to get seated. I've always said, like, I don't know why everybody is looking at the white ass as colder. Even you, because right now, China is probably invested in, like, minimizing, like, the value of European brands. You have a different global order now. Like, when people talk about Milan and stuff like that. By the way, Jonathan Owens they tried to rob Jonathan Owens in Mulan. You know, the place that, you know, is supposed to be the most ritzy, upscale place, right? And so my point in saying that is, you ain't never heard, as much as black women bitch about colorism, as much you got women build whole channels about colorism, you ain't never heard them be productive and talk about that. You ain't even never heard them suggest that black men do that. All because they are in love with the bitching about it. Because in their mind, they don't want it solved. Because what they're really crying about is them not having access to white men. That's what a lot of them really be mad about. And then they project that. It's just like a lot of people don't know the reason why interracial porn, this is gonna sound crazy, but the reason why interracial porn is so popular with white men, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. Why is interracial porn so popular to white men, even though we know what white men say about mud sharks and all this and all that? Because it be them homosexual, homoerotic white men. Them white men are like borderline or all the way gay. You know, I don't believe in borderline, but you know what I mean. Those be the dudes, cuts, those be the dudes and weirdo white guys that be promoting that. Interracial porn exists because of that demographic, that group. If that group, let's be very clear, if that group didn't exist, if that group didn't want it, you wouldn't see it. You got whole websites, Blacked and all of that exist for that. And that wouldn't, that is the only, there's other groups that augment it, but that is the main group. So when you see when you see a lot some of this stuff, like people be wondering, it ain't white women pushing on video. White women may do that crap on social media, but on video, that creates productions and all of that. That's that demographic. Otherwise, you would just see West Coast productions, black on black shit. And by the way, those are the same dude. A lot of those that may be a different, but it's the same group of dudes that be doing the black women, white men thing because it gets their like slave fetish on. That's not black men that they create that around. Just like hip hop mainly got as popular as it did is because white people were supporting it. Because it was a way for them to pretend to be in the hood for a day without, a lot of people don't talk about that. And so my point going back to it is you never heard them talk about that. You ain't never heard them do a video about that. You ain't never heard it because in their mind they shouldn't have to because they see doing a beauty pageant as servicing men, black men. They don't even see that. Why would I create a black beauty pageant to get access to white men? I can just go in their beauty pageants. That's how they see it. They don't see it as an actual computing beauty standard. This is why you don't see it. A lot of black women promote Afro beauty. This is why they feel some type of way about Shay Sade doing that. Because it's not a one-to-one thing for them. A lot of the stuff that drives them beauty-wise is really like a lot of these chicks, if they got to deal with a black man, they want this chaos, this chaotic jungle bunny, like hyper masculine, like King Kong, that dude's got to have tats, fetish, prison. It wasn't always like that, by the way. But when it comes to, they never generally look at white men in that same way. That tells you, and it's not just them, other races of women are like that, but they're not like that to that degree. With black women, it's got to be the absolute most. But again, going back to those, all these women, I want you to think about it. All these AKAs, all these women, all these connections, all this sorority stuff, all of these women that are mayors and stuff. How many black mayors do you have? None of them have talked to nobody about doing this in the city. How many black female mayors you got in big cities that can do city money for something like this? Atlanta, by the way, could definitely be the start. It ain't like black men will have a problem with this because they get to see some attractive females. You ain't never heard a fucking suggestion. I'm probably the first person to ever bring up an idea like that. You know why? Think about Fenty and how much money Fenty, hell, Kim Kardashian. Like, there's money in something like that for a lot of people. Think of all these influencers globally. You ain't never heard that. Press 2 if you have heard that idea from anybody else other than me just now or me a while ago. Press 2. I'll be back. I want to see how. Press 2. Press 1 if you have heard that from somebody else. Shout out to KMS, caught alive to the title. How can they demand mentorship and while not being able to critique? Also, this money goes to a stream about the Dana lady. She comes across as a woman who can't be told nothing. Thus, she's manless. Yeah. Okay, absolutely. Because I'm actually gonna work on that video, get that video done today. So that well, No, I got a realness video, and then the Dana video is probably gonna come the day after that because it's been more videos. Basically, where that comes from is a chopped. There's a trend called optionally chopped, and that's where I think a lot of that originated from. So appreciate it, man. Only one person did too. Well, the rest of y'all ain't acting like y'all don't hear what I'm saying. Well, I mean, they can view that because white women can do what they want in that way, but black women accept that. So my point is, they don't build. Women don't build. Women nest. And shout out to BGS for creating that distinction. That's a great distinction. Women don't build. They nest. That's the reality situation. Women don't build. They nest. And so, because of that, now we're getting into the mentor stuff. So, MOT has talked about this. Mr. Research has talked about this. This is something that's been talked about. How when black men, these dudes in particular, they try to mentor black boys, and we actually have some momentum in doing that. Black women will talk about they want black men to mentor, but what doesn't get said in these conversations is people don't ever tell the truth about why black men they don't like to tell the truth about black men, like what happens when black men mentor um black boys. Black women want help. I've said this before, I'm gonna say it again. Black women don't want leadership, they want help. And when you understand that they want help, you understand that they're not looking to be told what to do. They just want you to serve. Meaning they want a babysitter. They want a babysitter and they want an enforcer. When you look at what kids obviously require, kids require time and they generally require discipline. The woman wants the man to come in there and use his masculinity to enforce order, order when she can't. See, the women have no problem being masculine. You can look at the mentality of women by how they treat the children. The women have no problem enforcing, or when I say have no problem, they like enforcing order upon kids. They like being mean. They like being all these things. They actually like these things. This is how they think men treat them, which we know is not true. But they like being these things. That's one thing they like. But when those boys get grown, right? And they get older, or they get like 13, 14, they go through puberty, those boys start to overpower these women, and these women lose control. And even if the boy doesn't overpower the woman or create a situation, because a lot of y'all ain't never thought about putting your hands on your mother. I know I haven't. I'll give you a story. There was one time where my mom just like she was I don't know what she was on, but she was pushing around my aunt. Now this is her older sister, and she's sitting here, she's really going crazy, and I had to like get control of her because my aunt is mentally ill, right? And she started trying to hit me, like just throwing her hands around, and then I said, "You got to stop, yo." And I could tell my mom was putting real force on on what she was doing. Like she was trying to really like as far as I had to hold her hand, and she was trying to get me to let go. And I'm gonna tell you something. It actually scared. I'm not like a strong dude. I'm not a weak. I ain't gonna say I'm a weak dude, but I'm not like Charles or nothing like that, right? I'm not gonna pretend to be. but it literally scared me and startled me how much strong. Now, obviously, I'm grown. It's like I'm this actually. I was 30, but it actually startled me like how much stronger I was in her. Like literally, my mom was put, and this is where I literally started to think like, was she wasn't really getting sick at this time either. But I'm like, I'm literally like, it's like I don't have a hold of her arm. Like literally, I'm not even hold. Like literally, if I move it left or right, and I see her, I can feel her putting force to it. It's like I'm moving like an arm bar or something. Like arm bar for a microphone that hooks to the table. It's like I'm just moving. That actually startled me, and I actually let go because I'm like, yo, that's crazy. And so you dealing with these boys, whether they're athletic or not, and and trust me, if a woman feels that, her insecurity is gonna go insane. And this is not just black women, by the way. This is not just black women, by the way. There's other women that fall in this category too. Like, yo, women have no idea how much stronger than them we actually are. And because dudes ain't putting their hands on women like people like to say we are, a lot of times we forget how much stronger than them we are. Like, come on. This is actually a really great idea. I actually think a safe way of women understanding how strong men are that want to act up, they need to pick a guy and arm wrestle. Pick a guy you think you're stronger than and arm wrestle him. That's a real safe, non-evasive way of them experiencing the difference. That's actually a really good idea. Yeah, Afro Merchant. I didn't the risk because I wasn't holding her that hard anyway, but I could see how hard she was holding my hand because I was trying to get her to start hitting my aunt. Which I'm more on my mom's side, but I'm like, this is a game you chose. I'm like, you can't just be hitting her because you about to get in trouble for that. Because that's all she got to do is say that shit, and then that's the main reason. I'm like, you tripping. And so, yeah, it is. But I didn't even hold her that hard. It was more like me moving her hand, and I'm seeing her. I'm like, wow, it's like you're not even there. And this is not me. This is me like, I need to get in the gym. So I'm nowhere near where I need to be. I'm really not. And so a lot of these chicks, they be out here really, I don't know. But my point is, I'm getting to the mentor stuff, is they want control. They want you to enforce that. That's what they want you to do. That's what your job is. That's what your job is. They don't want you to be a leader. They don't want you to really teach. They don't want you to teach nothing that they don't co-sign. That's the reality of the situation. And they're not going to say that because they know dudes would never mentor. So they're not going to say that. The way they're going to frame it is they're going to frame it as, they're going to try to guilt trip you into it. They're going to try to guilt trip you into it. Appreciate Evil Genius for the $10. Yeah, I gotta go through a list of y'all for real because it's like Cash App didn't change, so I can't see it. Shout out to Andre for the $2.79. Some Shikas, some shekels for the pot. No, everything is appreciated. Ed, your thoughts on Jesse Jackson passing his African American term versus FBA? I mean, okay, I'll get into that in a second. But the point is, they want control. That's what they want. Like, and we're not honest about that. We're not honest about this idea that black men just don't want to help. That's not what it is. This idea that black men are single and they don't have, if they are single and they don't have kids, they don't care. That's not really true. But what's not going to happen is we're not gonna get no benefit. Like, understand, if you want to do internship, the point of an internship is you learn, but you're getting paid a lot less than you otherwise would get paid. So you're trading cheap labor because you don't know nothing for information to get your foot in the door. This is why college students do internships at big places. You know, obviously big known corporations, and this is why they do it, because that's the trade. That's the trade. Operational knowledge and experience, valuable experience. So when you do get a degree, you can get yourself in the door. It's the same thing for business. When you look at in a small scale, when you look at like Chinese kids in a Chinese restaurant, what are you getting? You're learning how to work a small business, to work a point of sale system. You're literally learning while you're in school. You're seeing that environment. You're seeing how to put food together. You're seeing whatever. That's a skill. That would be no different than if you know how to cut hair. I'm gonna keep it real with you. If you know how to cut hair, you'd be a fool to have a son and not at least attempt to teach him how to cut hair. If for nothing else, that he could cut his own hair. And then on top of that, he can cut others' hair. Same thing with a female that knows how to do hair. And a lot of people do this. So I'm not saying this doesn't happen, but that's just an automatic skill you can get from the street. If you know how to cook, again, that's another reason to teach your kids how to cook, because they can sell food. Like, I just saw a thing. I don't know how true this is, and I don't even know if I agree with this. Talking about Gavin Newsom talking about in California, you can sell food out of your house. That's fucking stupid, personally. But again, that's the type of stuff that you're doing to accommodate these immigrants. You're basically accommodating people, and they don't have to assimilate. That traditionally has not been something that's been cool for a variety of reasons. You don't know what people are doing in their house. You're not regulating. They're not going to let people go up in their house and then do a food safety inspection. Now, are they? They're not. So let's cut the bullshit. But again, this goes to show you what people are willing to do to accommodate other groups. But when we ask for anything, it's like we can't do it. It can't be done. So anyway, people playing. Yeah. So at the end of it, so what I'm saying is this whole thing, it's about them getting help, not them actually trying to get these, because they don't think like that. They think about, what do I need to get control? What do I need to make my life easier? They don't, and they can say, oh, that's not true, or they'll try to individualize it. They'll try to do anecdotal evidence, but they're never looking at the group and looking at the group results and saying, is this true for the group? They never say that. It's like saying, well, I'm Michael Jordan. The Washington Wizards are great because I'm Michael Jordan. Yeah, but everybody else isn't Michael Jordan, though. That's not how that works. Anyway, press 1 if you can hear me. Press 1 if you can hear me. Press 1 if you can hear me. But like I was saying, they want control.
So when you look at My Brother's Keeper, when you look at different place times when we've tried to do mentorship, another thing, if you look at black boy schools, black boy academies, these women are always in the mix of somebody trying to shut it down. And again, that's why certain stuff needs to be highlighted. And it's because if black women cannot control black men or black boys, this is how you know you're in a matriarchy, because what they're doing on autopilot, they are very sensitive to black men teaching black boys, and they go off script, or the script that they want to go to. Black women are instinctively sensitive to that. If you look at how the boys are controlled and the boys are mentored, they are mentored to see black women as the superior gender. They are mentored to trust, and it's not just about they were there. It's not about, that's not the only thing that's going on. And even still, even to that extent, black women purposely have kids with dudes that are not qualified to be fathers, to the extent that they have that problem for real, which they really don't. And they don't really want to give the kid to the dad, and the government and basically the courts and stuff enforce that. They enforce that. Because they want to be in control, the government wants to be in control, and they use the woman as a mechanism to do that. So you have a lot of these confused males that they looking for women's permission to do shit. And then when women get to a certain age, because again, your mother is not the chick you fucking ain't your mother. Now it's like they don't know. They like, where's all these men at? This is the game that they play. As if, and then these would be the same chicks if they got brothers that try to act like, oh, well, my mama never held my brother to the same standard she holds me. And the way the women remember that is he got privilege, not understanding that that's the setup. That's the setup. I'm sorry. I don't care if I don't have children. If you prioritize your daughter to be smarter than your son, you all are bad parents. And dude, you are a piece of shit father. Nigga, you are worthy of being spit in your fucking face. I want to say that straight up. If you're a man and that's your biological son, really, I can say the same thing even if it's not, because you still signed up for the stepfather role. But if that's your biological son, and you have this thing where you don't want to teach the son, but you want to give the daughter all the game, dude, you're scum of the earth. I put you right where I put bitches that lie about their kids. And y'all know, if y'all listen to that live, you know what I said needs to happen to those people. You're scum of the earth. I spit on the ground in your presence, and you're lucky I don't spit in your fucking face. Because you the ultimate bitch. And I don't care why. If you do that because you want to keep the peace, then nigga, just admit you don't run the relationship. Admit the bitch runs you. See, that's the thing. That's the type of shit I'm on. Nigga, I'm cool with it, but just admit it. You're not gonna be in the closet with your bullshit. You're not. Y'all, it's gonna be known that's who you are, and you gonna have to walk with that shit. For real. And there's a lot of dudes that do that. That ain't every dude. I won't say that's most, but there's a lot of black men that to keep the peace, to keep that bitch happy. You don't, meaning you can't even protect the kids against your own bitch's ego. But you talking about you protecting. You ain't protecting shit. Kissing a bitch ass ain't protected. Keeping her happy because she don't know, that ain't protected. You supposed to protect the kids from your woman's dumbass machinations. And I'm not saying men are not without fault, but guess what? Men are not without fault, but men are way more intentional about these things. And we're held accountable in a way the women just are not. And that's just fact. So people always say, well, what about the men? The men are held to a higher standard anyway. So it don't matter. Y'all are not. Truth be told, it's not enough government money for how much DCFS should be up women's ass for a lot of shit they be doing. You got kids living in third world conditions in the United States because of how ain't shit some of these bitches are. Straight up. And a lot of these women be knowing that. Or they like to act like every chick is like a 92. Man, if you don't stop that. But anyway, my point is, when it comes to these after school programs and all this stuff, you know, they don't want these boys to be taught how to be men. They want these boys to be taught how to serve and how to serve well. In their mind, they think that these dudes can be these super competitive alpha niggas to everybody else, but be slavish in the mindset to them. It doesn't work that way. You can't show me any other group that does that to that degree. And women will always do what's in their best interest, which is why men got to get over this. Like, I don't want to feel like I'm abusing her by using leverage and power. So y'all just let go and assume she just do the right thing because of morals. Not understanding her morality is not built on right and wrong. Women's morality is not built on right and wrong. Women's morality is built on consequences. Women's morality is built on what they can get away with. You don't believe me? You think I'm bullshitting? Ask a chick that don't even have a child, that don't even have a kid, ain't about paternity, and watch what they say. They will tell you that that's an obvious right and wrong answer. Do you think a man is owed? Do you think a man deserves to know that his kids are his? Just that question. And watch them act like that shit is some philosophical Chinese finger trap, some conundrum and shit. Watch them act like that is just some philosophical or Rubik's Cube. Don't act like that's don't act like that's like some shit. I don't know. Blah blah. And you know why that's so funny? You know why that's fucking hilarious? Because how much do these women bitch about agency? These one of the main feminist principles. My body, my choice. No means no. All this bullshit is about female agency. Key word is female agency. Because whenever something is inconvenient for them, that shit goes out the fucking hell. A lot of women don't even believe in other female agencies if they emotionally don't like where it's going. That's how you know. They don't believe you assume. This is why, you know, they keep saying it's equality. Feminism is not against men. Feminism is about both parties. So you would assume whatever worked for one party should be, anything you put on the table is supposed to be reciprocated. So if you believe in agency on the woman's side, then you should believe in agency on the man's side. I mean, okay, we're going to argue about a man being able to financially abort a child. But shit, you at least can understand a man should only pay for kids that he knows is his, because that's an agency question. All these videos you see are all these women splaining, trying to emotionally jump through hoops. This is why I'll be quick, man. Shut up, bitch. Because I'm going to snap you out of that shit for real. No, we're not doing this fucking emotional babble. You're wrong, and you're a fucking bitch for even contemplating that. It's a fucking easy yes. Let me give you an example. Should I beat on an infant? If I have to fucking think about that, there's something wrong there. That's not no, if an infant won't shut up crying, it ain't no, should I shake an infant? The obvious answer is fucking no. I shouldn't have to go into a detail that they don't have a strong neck. I shouldn't go into the detail that their brain is not developed. For real. Hell, their skull is not developed. I shouldn't have to go into the details. The answer, bitch, is no. Period. Easy. So I ask again, do you think a man deserves to know if a kid is his or not? Fuck whether they ain't been born. Fuck if they're there. Yes or no? Not no. There is no in between. There is no caveats for this. No caveats, bitch. Why are you calling me a bitch? Because you're acting like one. There are no caveats. Bitches love, like, they think, you know, when they don't, oh, well, you know, you gotta understand. No, bitch. No. Why are you calling me a bitch? Yes, you are. Because if you don't understand this, yeah, you a fucking bitch. You're not a lady. shit. Oh man, I ain't even thinking about that. I'm on mute. Okay, press 1 if y'all can hear me. Anyway, I'm sitting here talking. Okay, so anyway, like I said, these people want control. I'm not even gonna skip what the fuck I was saying, but these people want control. These people want fucking control. And women want control. They're not trying to build. They don't give a fuck about the kids. They just want them kids to be watched. They will push them to their parents if they could. They can get away with it. And that man is a helpmate. BGS just said this in a recent video he did. You know, women do not consider men a part of the family. They don't. And again, we have these conversations and all that stuff, and these women be believing that. Like when Dumper had that paternity video and he was saying all this stuff, he watched the video freestyle like I do, so he don't watch the video, so it's a true reaction. The women confirm everything he said. Talk about it's an ego thing when it comes to paternity, all of that. These women believe this. This is not just stuff we're making up. This is not stuff we're projecting. They do believe this, what we're talking about. And that's why these things aren't there. And so a lot of the men, they're looking at the women's, they want to get the women's permission to do shit. And it doesn't work that way. The women are not going to give you permission to take power. They're not going to do that. Because in their mind, they see it, they're used to white people having power, but you have power. They see that as taken away from them because they see you as competition in a slave house. Now, do we look at them that way? No. Well, why are y'all competing? Well, we're not competing with y'all. Y'all basically saying y'all better than us, and we're basically showing the numbers saying that's bullshit. Because again, I'm yet to hear a black female say she better than any other fucking race. You don't never hear black women talk about we're the most educated. No, you're talking about that for black men. Y'all don't ever say y'all more educated than Latin women. Y'all don't ever say y'all more educated than white or Asian women. Y'all don't say the words. And that's what dudes, any of y'all motherfuckers on panels, if a woman says, oh, we the most educated, so you more educated than Asian women? You're more educated than white women? You're more educated than Latin women? Make them say that. So what do you mean when you say to them, I wish that white dude would have said that with Jasmine Crockett? Make them say that. Fuck that bullshit. They don't say that. They say, oh, we're the most educated. Then, okay, who you more educated than? You're more educated than white men? Is that what you're saying? You're more educated than who? Who are you more educated than? Then these shit's gonna get bashful. Well, bitch, it's a bold ass statement to say you the most educated. Imagine me as a white man saying we're the most educated. Everybody in this bitch gonna get triggered. But the part of the global beauty shit is they don't even see the value of it outside of appealing to black men. That's when you ever see black women not want to do something, it's really because they don't think black men deserve it. That's why they don't, but they can't see where the value is outside of a black man. Which shows you they not thinking. Look at Cooking with Kaya. Look at the value Cooking did with Cooking with Kaya. That's her mama that taught her how to cook. And black women are literally angry at her because of how black men like it. I've seen white men Cooking with Kaya. Like, it's not just black men that support her. She went way past just black men. It's white people, white babies saying Cooking with Kaya. I'm not talking about AI. That was literally like a really great branding thing she did. She hit the jackpot with that shit. But black women mad at her because black women wouldn't be mad at her if it was a whole bunch of white men that was boosting her, and that's all you saw. Black women were mad at her because they saw her as male identified, because they really talk about black male identified. That's what drives them. And when you understand that, you understand, yo, you're not about to build no black community. Like, this is why when people talk about let them lead, trust black women, you mean let them lead. What are you talking about? So it means you don't really want to lead. So you don't really want to build. So you think these bitches gonna build? What are you talking about? Are you saying that black men are supposed to build so black women run it? Then say that. Stop talking around it like a pussy. And niggas need to really tell niggas that. Stop trying to con me into it. Stand on your nuts and say what it is. Just like when Angry Man and them used to do that dishwasher shit. I always stayed out of that shit. Because I would have tore some of these motherfuckers apart for that shit. Like real fucking talk. Because y'all be the very niggas crying if niggas started to go to the law and basically say, you know what, fuck these street niggas, lock them all up. Y'all would have been mad. But I stayed out of that shit. Even though I vehemently didn't disagree with that bullshit. But that shit never really expanded like that, so it wasn't no point in bringing it up. But at least they say it. Niggas out here trying to pussyfoot they way. You trying to con niggas and the shit. Say what you think. Because, nigga, we say what we think. Y'all can talk about the manosphere, the red pill, whatever. We're telling it like it is and taking the hits for it. Y'all not doing that. Y'all pussyfooting around. Trust women. What does that mean? Give me a practical application in regarding to black people building. Powernomics. Like, we all know what that means, man. We're saying you want black men to do the labor, you want women to run shit. These bitches can't run shit, dumbass. We wouldn't be in the situation if they could. Y'all need to be honest about the fact that you want to be in a matriarchy so everybody can opt the fuck out and do their own thing. Because these will be the same women bitching about what they don't got. Ebony K. Williams want to be a matriarch. Jenny Mai want to be a matriarch. And look at how that worked. I dated them all. And bitch, because ain't nobody give a fuck about that. And your looks don't override. I'm famous and I'm this. I'm famous and I'm this. And I want to, bitch, fuck you and your ego. That's what I'm saying. Like, understand, having an ego is a masculine trait. That is not a good trait in a woman. I'm not saying you gotta be meek, but black women, their egos, bitch, fuck you and that ego. Black men need to start making women work hard for that shit. I do not want to talk to a black bitch with an ego. Seriously, I am really tired of that shit. Your ego should not be bigger than mine. You hoes walking around with makeup, y'all ego, nigga, we here as we are. You bitches got a whole bunch of face paint, hair, girdles and shit. You bitches are never that confident naked. Huge ass areolas covering your titties and shit. You bitches are never that confident naked. All of y'all egos is based on having a fucking wig. And them bitches never be having egos like that around white men. Hell, they don't have egos around that with Hispanic men. Fuck you and that ego. I remember fucking April Mason. This is when I knew. April, yeah, nah, you on that other side. April Mason somebody was trying to tell her, yeah, you know, women should be humble. She was like, she smacked her lips so hard. And I'm like, yeah, bitch. That's one reason in Chicago we throw the bitch word around a lot. Cause I fuck you and that ego. Bitches be mad because they don't got sexual leverage over the niggas they like, and that shit be driving them fucking crazy. Fuck you and that ego. These chicks think they anger is leverage. That's why a lot of these chicks like dealing with black men. Because let me tell you something. A lot of these chicks, the way they talk, if they talk to Hispanic men like that, or if they talk to other groups of men like that, they get the shit slapped out of them. And dare them to call it, they dare them to do something. A lot of these chicks get their ass whooped. Straight up. And they know it. They not that quick. That's why it's always like they just have this hormonal, like, ultimate meltdown when they do pop off on the other races, because it's like they on the suicide. They don't care anymore. But like when they got their marbles about them, it's like, yo, y'all get this. That's why they be all black men are so violent. Man, if black men were violent, we wouldn't be disrespected like we are. You somebody you think is likely to beat your ass. I saw a video that said, it was of a woman, and she said a lot of women that think they can hit men, y'all don't know the difference between a man that'll hit a woman and a man that beats women. Y'all ain't never dealt with a man that beats women. Because a man that beats women, y'all wouldn't say that. That's what she said. Yeah, these bitches are out here playing. And so anyway, so again, I know I'm talking around it. I need to do a video upload on the mentor thing so it's a more focused conversation. But when people are talking about mentorship, these women are not looking for, they don't want these dudes to be men. Look, this is why a lot of these women like coaches, because coaches are only going to teach them how to be great players. Yeah, they'll talk about all the other stuff too, but they're not going to change the household. And that woman has a tight grip on what them coaches can do. Now, when it's them white coaches, yeah, they'll let them white coaches be father figures, because them white coaches are invested in that woman being the head of that boy. Because that's how they have this symbiotic relationship to control this black male. It's really fucking evil. Which is why they have an issue with LeVar Ball. They got an issue with Deion Sanders. They don't never have these same issues with black women, but they always have these issues with black fathers. That should tell you what all you need to know. He said, CGA said today that if somebody wants power, they need to stop asking for it. Take it if they want. Absolutely. Women don't understand that. Women think they can bitch their way to power. And men have kind of accommodated the women to the point. I can tell when an idea is the first time you've ever even thought about it. A lot of niggas be on, and that's the problem. If you're on autopilot like that, if you're on auto, like this is basic shit. If you're on autopilot on this, then that means you're on autopilot in a lot of other things. Niggas just be straight on autopilot. You're not supposed to be on autopilot like that. Understand, if you're on autopilot like that, that means you're not affecting the environment around you. Remember, we're niggas in their 30s. Niggas are in their 30s. What's up, Compassion? Niggas are in their 30s, yo. Acting like they're like 15, 16. Like they don't know shit about shit. That's the real problem. This is why you hear women talk about a nigga arguing back with me. No, they don't expect to be challenged on none of the dumb shit they saying. They actually think black women actually think they're smarter than black men. And I know if you be around some of these niggas, I get why they think that. A lot of y'all niggas, it's not that y'all are dumb, it's just y'all on autopilot. Y'all are missing software. Y'all are missing applications, man. Y'all are missing a mental kit. Like, serious, it's not even that y'all are stupid. Y'all are just missing, like, perspective and education. And when I say education, I'm talking about power shit. Y'all are like, it's not that y'all don't, it's not the cognitive ability. Y'all niggas are passive. Y'all are way too passive when it comes to women. And so when the dudes say some shit, y'all want to challenge that shit. Y'all want to challenge that shit with nothing but a prayer and some feeling. But the hoes can tell you some absolute bullshit and y'all will believe it. Black women can tell you they're the most educated and you dumb niggas actually believe that shit. You think other groups of women believe that? Other groups of people believe that shit? No, they let them bitches believe that. Because they're like, if you're that delusional, let me not get in your way. And so again, these women don't even mentor these boys on basic shit, like finance and shit. No, they don't mentor a lot of these college educated women. They talk about go to the same school and get the same debt I got. But yeah, all these women that are educated and smart and making money, you don't see them building shit out. You don't see them buying more of the hair care industry or the hair industry. You don't see them building things. They don't do that. They're gonna nest, and in this case, they want to nest in white supremacy. And they want you to serve them in that. This is why a lot of these hoes are anti-black, but they want to talk like they pro-black and shit. Oh, I'm pro-black, we're pro-black. No, you're not. You're pro-black woman. You all are pro-black matriarchy. And that's what we got to start getting clear. I'm not pro-black matriarchy. Fuck the black matriarchy. I told you right now, if the black community has to be a matriarchy, it don't need to exist. We just need to opt out and do our own thing. Like for real, and just let the immigrants take over or whatever and stop playing. I don't support that. I'm not supporting that, period. I'm not supporting a situation where I'm gonna be subordinate under no bitch. Fuck you, bitch. Seriously, you an enemy. You're an enemy. Like that's I'm not playing. There's no, you're not an antagonist. You are an enemy of the state. Straight like that. You just like them Hispanics calling black people monkeys and shit. That ain't no negotiation. You need to take your ass like seriously, because the problem is they'll spread that ideology with other women, other young females. You are an enemy. Like I use that word very intentionally. They're not y'all can be around, but we gonna debate. There is no debate. You are a white supremacist to me. We are at war. Get the fuck away from me. You all need to be identified and dealt with. What do I mean when I say dealt with? I mean every ounce of resources needs to be extracted. Meaning you ain't getting no help from us, from black men or black people. Point blank, period. The Scientologists call it's called excommunication. I forget what the particular word they call it, where your whole family don't fuck with you. Like when they put you on this protocol, you could have raised them kids, be a mother, the parent, nobody fucks with you. Everybody turns on you, and if you don't turn on them, then you're going to be turned on too. And it's brutally effective. It is heartbreakingly effective, but it is damn effective. So when you leave the church, you're leaving your family. You're leaving everything. Your kids will betray you. No, for the most part, they don't. Because they spin. Today's women are way too materialistic. They're way too materialistic. And the corporation, that's the corporation's fault. That's why I'm like, I'm not bailing these bitches out. They need to deal with that. But yeah, I'm not playing, and people need to say that. But again, they're not gonna say that. So when it comes to mentoring these boys, these women want these boys to be indoctrinated in a matriarchal ideology, which means you have to divorce them. You have to strip them of any internal self of what manhood is. The only manhood they want is manhood that serves them, which is some slave shit. That's some Nat Turner, what they wanted Nat Turner to do with Christianity. And niggas will be like, you hate women and all this. Yeah, but am I lying though? And what I'm saying incorrect though? Oh, nigga, something wrong with you, blah, blah, blah. Okay, it's something, am I lying though? I notice you ain't said that yet. Am I lying though? Is what I'm saying incorrect? Where is what I'm saying incorrect? Because what I'm hearing is, you ain't supposed to say that, nigga. You're not supposed to say that. Massa in this case is a black woman. Your fucking massa supervisor. I don't know why you would get rid of the word coon. You gotta have a way of identifying people that have ideology that's adverse to your shit. Most people that want people to get rid of the word raccoon are people that want a coon in peace. The same people that want to get rid of, a lot of people want to get rid of the word tether. In fact, I would argue coon has as a new meaning, because coon is representative of FBAs that are on some treacherous shit. Tether identifies immigrants. People that are doing shit that's subversive to a group always want to be comfortable while they're doing their bullshit. Just like white men want to be able to say the N-word in peace. They want to be able to say the N-word and that be accepted. White people wouldn't want to say the N-word so much if white people actually knew. Most white people don't know the real history of what they've done to black people. White people, and if you don't believe that, I ask you this one question. Who you think has been done worse? Nazis to Germany, Nazis to Jews, or white people or Americans to black people in America? And if you say the Nazis were worse, you don't know your history. You don't know your history. You don't know your history. If you say it's equal, it's kind of comparable, then you just don't want to say that they're worse, but that tells you, all right, you know more than most. You don't know your history. And white people can be uncomfortable. Oh, I'm uncomfortable. Why? Germans own it. Germans own what, say what you want to about Germans. Germans own what they did. They own what they did. They've had to deal with it. It's illegal to deny the Holocaust. They've had to deal with it. They've had to own it. I mean, they still exist. They're still a country. They're still their people. They're still German. They haven't run away from who they are. Remember, Germany has German people don't just have Germany. Like Hungary is German. Austria is like German. Germany had a whole bunch of tribes. I gotta get a list of all of the countries that are like German in nature. But it's like 3 or 4. It's not just Germany. That's just the main one. A lot of y'all don't know that. A lot of them small ass fucking countries. That's why Hitler, they did. The Nazis actually got the final solution from the Americans. Oh, you don't believe me? German medical system and American medical system used to be real clicked up. As American system came up, Germany was learning, they were real clicked up. They actually got the idea of the final solution actually from Germany, which is one of the reasons why Eisenhower was so appalled, because when you see that in real life, that manifests not an idea, but a thing. People forget how much the eugenics shit was back then. And those were liberals that were pushing that. People forget that. I'm not sure all the countries. I'm not sure. I know there's more than Germany though. But I can't tell you every last one. I know like Austria-Hungary is one. Because that's the one where, Hitler just walked in that bitch and they was like, yeah, whatever. Hitler was like, y'all not even gonna say nothing? Y'all just gonna shit. He's like, cool, good. I thought y'all would be good, but y'all actually thought, oh shit, Hitler walked in that bitch. Oh, y'all throwing a party? Oh, okay, I'm glad y'all on the team. Okay, so good. All right, y'all, great, bet. I knew y'all was gonna lay down, but I thought y'all was gonna say some shit. Y'all actually threw a party? Oh, hell yeah. Cool, put that paperwork back. So y'all still cool with us getting them people though, right? See, yeah, that's it. We gonna have to talk. Because those people, smart, they coming. Yeah. Oh, okay. Now, yeah. I knew it wasn't gonna be all rainbow. Yeah, that's how it was. Germanic countries include Germany, Austria, Luxembourg, Liechtenstein, and Switzerland. Oh, I didn't know Switzerland. Are you sure about Switzerland? Clutch would know. I didn't know Switzerland. Damn. But a lot of y'all don't even know that shit. Like, cause I mean, obviously we're not told that America is not necessary for us to know that in America. But y'all didn't even know that shit. Y'all think of Germany, you're just Germany. Like all these other folks are ethnic groups. No. And Germanic tribes were exactly that, tribes. We don't call them tribes. Now, you know, in Africa, you know, man, notice how African countries don't have these small countries like that. You know, they not gonna let the Igbo have their own shit. The Igbo tried to do that Biafran war. They was like, no sir, motherfucker. Yeah. They don't, it's not something they broadcast because those that know already know. Germans know it. That ain't something they need. Why do they need to broadcast that? That's the difference between nationality and ethnicity. You could be a full-blooded white Portuguese. You could be a full-blooded white Portuguese that lives in Brazil. Your nationality is Brazil, but you are full Blanco. You're full Blanco. You are a white Portuguese. But people don't think about that. People don't think about that because if you now Switzerland, I didn't know. I ain't gonna lie, Clutch. I believe you, but that I'm gonna check myself because I didn't know that. Because I thought Switzerland are for the Swiss, but then again, I don't know if they're their own ethnic group. I don't know everything about white people, man. I ain't like that. But again, the point is though, people will sit here again. They don't know history because they're not taught Jim Crow. Even what's his name, Tom Hanks, talked about why don't we learn this? We don't learn this because I said it before. It will traumatize white people. But black people definitely, black women definitely need to know about Jim Crow. Because a lot of black women do not understand. They like every generation has this like emerging, it's like it's an emerging like white blossoming bullshit where it's like it's the first time they've met a white boy on some Pocahontas shit. Like they don't know who they are. Even with this Epstein shit, you got black bitches talking about, oh, they didn't have us in the Epstein files because we were too smart. Bitch, that's bullshit. And a lot of them are upset they weren't in the Epstein files. A lot of them are upset that they weren't wanted. That's how goofy these motherfuckers are. Black women will literally shut down their survival instinct to be around. And they try to project that shit onto us. So again, yeah. So I mean, you know, because obviously you got the Norwegians, yeah. Okay. I'm not that familiar with Switzerland, so I can't really. But it's important to understand that because when they try to sit here and apply us with tribes and shit, like they didn't have tribes. No, they have nation states that serve as functions to aggregate wealth. Which is why Sweden, Finland, this is the shit y'all see. This is the shit people with power understand. This is why they tripping about, you know, the Denmark and fucking Trump with the damn not Newfoundland, but you know what I'm talking about, fucking Greenland or Iceland, whatever the fuck. You can't do that. It's like, bitch, you can't hold that shit. So again, you know, and as much motherfuckers be obsessing over white people, they don't know shit about white people. Y'all think the white ice is colder. Y'all don't even know nothing about these cities. Like Milan and all that. Y'all don't know shit about these cities. Man, Italy is like a fucking second world country right now. Damn, really? Especially southern Italy. But y'all don't know that. Because y'all like the white ice. Fucking mind control. fucking mind control. And so the shit we should be teaching these boys to empower themselves, y'all damn sure don't want them to know, because they understand black women know an empowered black male is gonna hold a woman accountable in a way that they don't want to. That's another thing too. Empowered black boys are gonna hold women accountable. They're gonna have certain expectations that black women don't want to uphold to. And women don't want that. Women don't want accountability in their own home. This is why these bitches, like, remember that shit where they were talking about being naked around children? I'm not, like, not even infants, but fucking like 6, 7, like 10-year-olds. We should be able to be naked. These kids knock on her door and they don't know. Bitch, lock your fucking door. Why the fuck do you not lock the door? The fuck, you don't lock the bathroom? You just let the kids go in there. I need a crack. For what? You just taking a shit. Anyway. Bitches out here talking about, you know, in the tribe, you know, they don't even think about sexuality like that. It's like, bitch, you want to live in the jungle, you want to live in a hut, then go, so be it. You want to live in a jungle bunny fucking lifestyle, then bitch, ain't nobody stopping you. Go to Africa and do that goofy ass shit. Go to Africa, go to 50 miles away from Ghana and cry, and you live that lifestyle. If you want to live like in civilization, then bitch, you don't have to act civilized. You're in a Christian country. Fuck you and all that. No. I don't fuck you, fuck feminism, fuck that ideology that bitch came from. Because white people ain't talking about that. The worst white women are getting it. They're trying to publicly talk. We should be able to publicly nurse our children. Bitch, fuck you and that too. But that's the worst thing. You bitches want to walk around naked. Bitch, fuck you. Like, we're not, like, and black men gotta learn, bitch, it's not no conversation. Bitch, fuck you. No. And if you even bring that shit up again, no resources. Niggas be entertaining shit. Y'all be, this is what compounds called false premises. Niggas be like, well, she feel it. No, bitch. Fuck that. Certain things I'm not even entertaining. There's certain things, you even bring it up with me, I'm automatically putting you in a certain category. Just by you trying to bring it up, even on some play shit. Like, for instance, if a bitch ever bring up, oh yeah, you know, have you ever thought about putting an object in your ass? Get out my car. Get out my car right now. You ever thought about being pegged? Get out my car. If you even bring up a situation of somebody else being pegged, like, oh, you heard what Vivica Fox said with it, get out my car. Get out. Right now. Get out. Get out. I'm gonna get you out. And if I get you out, you will get out. I'm not gonna half-ass get you out. Get the fuck out my car. Where it's over, we're done. You got your phone, order an Uber, it don't. I was just playing. I'm not. That's like me saying, have you ever entertained being raped? I don't play. And I'm dead ass. Certain people, that's never happened. But I'm telling you right now, certain people bring certain up. I'm not entertaining that shit and let you being around me. No, you gone. Block, everything. It ain't even no big deal. It's like just like that. Niggas be out here entertaining shit. Y'all be letting bitches entertain shit. Entertainment. Bitches, even I told you about that trans shit. People want to bring up, if you see on TikTok, they be bringing up, oh, well, you know, trans women. Get out my car. Get out my car. You might as well talk about demonic demon worship. Get out my car. Dead ass. And I'm not telling these bitches what these kind of like protocols are. I'm not telling them. Somebody want to argue trans with that, you're fucking stupid. You're fucking dumb. Now, when a fucking gay man or that wants to be a woman start beating your ass, y'all don't call it trans then. Y'all don't call it trans then. And you know, it be all heterosexual people in a room, and it's always women. Well, what about, you know, gay and lesbian and trans? Get out. Get out. Because your priorities ain't straight. Get out. Dead ass. Them motherfuckers can gather together. They don't need to gather over here. But black men will sit here and entertain that shit because black men have, I'll never forget, Tylil was talking about this nigga like 20, 25, 23 years old, talking about my partner called me and then she started wilding out. I'm thinking partner, I'm thinking he talking about his friend. I'm talking about why is she wilding out when your friend is calling you? Oh, you mean your bitch? Wow. So you 23-year-old calling your bitch your partner? What the fuck school did you come out of? Nigga, get rid of your tattoos. Cause nigga, you ain't no street nigga calling his bitch his partner. What the fuck are they teaching y'all? Like y'all, is that autopilot like now? My partner. So what? You think you got a man partner too? No, man. So what? What are we talking about? Partner. AK, so we can't say girlfriend no more? And that dude said that like off cuff. You don't see nothing wrong with that? Just like how people say, oh, I feel like. No, I think. Not you feel like. Nigga. Because when you feel like shit, that means you're not thinking. I got more masculinity than you do in your whole finger. That's cool. That don't mean you immune to doing stupid shit though. That don't mean shit. The Hulk ain't known for intelligence other than Smart Hulk. That ain't what he's known for. Man, Lindemann man is cleaning house on education for not. That ain't the main reason. There's other reasons, but to each his own. I get what you're saying. Basically, everything is being done for social engineering. And the fact that they say these other generations are cognitively less intelligent, it's not that they're just dumber. It's that they're less developed. That's really what it is. They're cognitively less developed. That means they're going to be more susceptible to bullshit. They're going to be more susceptible. That shit is dangerous to women, to be honest with you. Because now you got motherfuckers that's got less emotional control, which means they more likely to beat your ass and crash out on you. That is not that, and these niggas don't care. That's one thing about NBA Youngboy. NBA Youngboy is known for smacking some bitches. That's what they keep bringing up with him. And all them bitches love NBA Youngboy. Dudes love it. Like, that's the niggas y'all promoting. But anyway, y'all, I just wanted to put that out here, you know. I just wanted to put that out here. You know, at the end, you know, this is Ed Talk, you know, TED Talks, Ed Talks. That's what I'm gonna start calling it, rather than Driver's Ed. I could do that too, but Ed Talk. But for real, man, it be crazy, man. These motherfuckers, they like, you get on this social media, they don't be saying nothing real. They just be saying shit. No, we can't piss the bitches off. So you're not gonna solve the problem if you don't want to make, you know, you afraid to make black women mad. You're just so in fear. You're so in fear to make these bitches mad. Oh my God. Hey, that's, I guess if solving the problem requires black women to be mad, then I guess the problem ain't gonna be solved, right? It's just not gonna be solved, huh? It's just not gonna happen. I guess that's what it is, right? Cause you know, that's the issue. Y'all motherfuckers are scared. Y'all niggas are scared. And these women, they really think anger is leverage. They really think anger is leverage. They really think, that's a whole nother video in itself. Black women think anger is leverage. Black women think if they're angry, because when they're angry, they not fucking what they mad at. So black men think, oh man, the pussy's is running away. You're running off the pussy. So niggas don't, you know, rather than actually creating an abundance mentality on pussy, like, yo, if I don't get it from you, I'm getting it from somebody else. Like, it was a video of a bitch I saw on TikTok of a bitch talking about, you gonna make my fiance wait, but all them other niggas you fuck for free. And she said, yes. Like, she's running shit. I'm like, well, then your fiance's a bitch. Fuck, like, because don't give me the Christian argument, because if the Christian argument was the argument, then, like, especially with the way she looked at everything, don't play that game. I'm like, bitch, your body count, you gonna make me, no, you're not gonna make me wait. I'm like, bitch, you gonna make, number one, how the fuck, you're the fiance. First of all, this bitch is lying. Because number one, ain't no nigga that's worth a damn is going to, hell, ain't no, really, it's rare that females, like, in 2026, females are not about to sit here and even pretend to marry a nigga that they're not gonna fuck. So if you're making that nigga wait, then chances are you don't, I mean, you don't respect them. Like, that's what that means, which is why we say it. You respect them niggas, you willing to give pussy up for free, because women are out here trying to fuck like men. Women don't fuck like men. You all are not psychologically wired that way. That's been proven now. That you can't just remake the roles because y'all don't want to assume that role. Y'all just want the privilege everywhere, which is what anybody had some fucking common sense could have figured out. But at the end of the day, so you wouldn't even get to that game. But the reality is, yo, like, I promise you, bitches aren't making you, if bitches know you're fucking other bitches, they're not going to make you wait. If they know for certain that you're fucking other bitches, they're not going to make you wait. They're not going to play that game with you. And truth be told, if they're not getting nothing out of you, like, so it's like, nigga, like, I want to meet these niggas. I want to meet these niggas that's playing this game. When you dealing with a chick, you know she was fucking other niggas, but you making her a fiance. Nigga, you want to be married that bad? You want to be married, if you want a kid, like, what are we talking about? Because truth be told, you having a kid in wedlock only to divorce a couple years later, nigga, that don't count. Y'all niggas really think that y'all, oh man, we had a kid in wedlock, but before he was 5, before he got to kindergarten, we got a divorce. Then for all he know, y'all weren't together. You might as well just did the cohabitation thing. You might as well did the cohabitation thing and y'all be on again, off again. I have seen people do that. That is a much better situation, especially if y'all living in the same house or whatever. That's a better situation than y'all being married on paper, but then for like 2 seconds. A lot of these chicks be wanting to get married just to say they got married. a lot of these chicks to say they got married just so they don't be in that 1/4 of women to ever be married category. He said niggas was scared of treating light-skinned women on Twitter in fear of I mean, yeah, these are the same black women that support Cardi B. Cardi B out here like making black women look like whores and sluts, and they actually are black women actually like that. They like that wild, because in their mind, Cardi B is wild and free and validated by corporate media. That's why they like Cardi B, because she's wild and free. She's wild and free and validated. Not understanding Cardi B is validated like that in order to sell products and services to you dumb bitches. That's why they give her money. They give her money so she can sell products and services to you stupid bitches. That's the only reason why. They validate her. They don't validate her for no other reason. They don't. That's why they was like, bitch, you're going to have to put an album out, man. You got to refresh the system. And black women fall for that shit. I mean, Cardi B is out here really, Cardi B is funny because Cardi B is out here like doing pussy, like sorry ass stripper routines. All she doing is getting on a chair and bouncing up and down with her ass. That bitch ain't doing nothing in her concerts. From some of the clips that I saw that I didn't look for, that the algorithm felt it necessary for me to fucking see, I'm like, this bitch ain't doing nothing. This bitch is getting on a chair and just bouncing up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, thinking that shit is cute. Talk about you gotta practice. Bitch, for what? What are you practicing? Like she on a flip chair, probably a strong flip chair. It's retarded. The bitch done fell out of her chair about 5. The chicks she done fell out of her chair like quite a few times too. That's another like hilarious thing. She done fell out of her chair about 3 or 4 times. Like, it's literally videos about it. That's probably why it's going viral. She has literally fell out her chair. And she don't even care no more. It's not even like a big deal. She's supposed to be in April. And I know that because people keep fucking telling me. Anyway. All right, y'all. It's been a great shout. You should go with Ed words of wisdom. That's funny. I'm gonna screenshot that. Let's see. Absolutely. Anyway, y'all, I gotta go. So it's been great. This is Edward signing off. Peace.